It began on a hushed Friday evening in southern Brazil, where warm air draped like a shroud and the horizon burned orange over Paraná's sprawling farmlands. Then, without a whisper of warning, the wind coiled into fury. In mere minutes, the sky plunged into utter blackness, and a deep, relentless roar announced the unimaginable. A colossal tornado, one of the fiercest in Brazil's recorded history, tore into Rio Bonito do Iguaçu, slashing a trail of ruin through homes, schools, and fields. By 7:00 p.m., whole neighborhoods lay shredded, power lines severed, families pinned under crumpled roofs. Witnesses swore it was the apocalypse, a vortex beast devouring all in its wake. What unfolded was a night of pandemonium, heroism, and shattering grief, a trial that would push a tornado-unfamiliar nation to its limits. Applause, music. At 6:58 p.m., storm sirens wailed across southern Brazil's valleys. But for most, doom had already struck. A savage supercell exploded over the Paraná region, ignited by scorching, moisture-laden air from the Amazon crashing against a frigid front, surging from Argentina. Rotation locked in seconds, then ground contact. The tornado hammered Rio Bonito do Iguaçu with winds exceeding 155 mph, enough to obliterate city blocks. Survivors likened the noise to a jet engine thundering overhead. Roofs vanished, cars hurled skyward, power poles snapped like matchsticks. Debris spun in deadly cyclones as walls collapsed and trees wrenched apart. A family of 4 cowered in their basement while their roof peeled away. Others gripped bathroom pipes or crouched under stairwells, desperate for any refuge. When the gales subsided, an eerie quiet descended, shattered only by pleas for help rising from the wreckage. For Rio Bonito, the nightmare lasted under 10 minutes, yet the aftermath resembled a bombed-out battlefield. Homes erased, businesses crushed, thousands stripped to nothing but their clothes. As the tornado ravaged southern Brazil, night descended into absolute bedlam. Rio Bonito do Iguaçu, once a serene farming haven, transformed into a war zone of wind-whipped debris. Emergency sirens pierced the darkness while first responders battled blocked roads, dangling power lines, and flipped vehicles. In the town center, residents clawed through rubble with bare hands, shouting for missing kin. Surviving families shivered in gutted homes, shielding kids from the pounding rain that chased the winds. "We heard the wind howling like a living demon," one survivor gasped. Then darkness swallowed everything. Hospitals in Laranjeiras, do Sul and Cascavel overflowed in hours. Power gone, doctors operated by flashlight and phone glow to sew gashes and steady the wounded. Churches and schools became refuges, crammed with hundreds who had lost it all. By first light, rescue crews yanked survivors from crushed homes and buried cars, but the toll was apocalyptic. 5 dead, over 130 injured, hundreds homeless. Farmers trudged through their obliterated lands. Barns splintered to kindling. Livestock vanished. Crops wiped clean. Dawn broke over Rio Bonito, exposing a community that had stared down the impossible and now faced the grueling path to rebirth. Meteorologists dubbed it a flawless cataclysm. Hot, sodden air surged from the Amazon as a cold front plunged from Argentina. Their collision over Brazil's southern plains unleashed explosive instability, the breeding ground for supercells, Earth's most lethal thunderstorms. Such rotating monsters are uncommon in South America. But on November 7, 2025, atmospheric fury peaked. Radar from Brazil's National Institute of Meteorology, INMET, captured intense rotation near Rio Bonito do Iguaçu, heralding a brutal tornado. Winds hit 155 to 170 mph, earning an F3 rating on the Fujita scale, capable of reducing homes to dust and flinging vehicles hundreds of feet. Experts tie these escalating storms to climate change. Warmer air traps more moisture, supercharging storms with explosive energy and deluges. Tornadoes, once anomalies in Brazil, now strike harder and more often. Warnings mount. Without upgraded radar, Robust alerts and smarter city planning. These killers will return, offering scant seconds to flee a sky turned hostile. Daylight over Rio Bonito, do Iguaçu unveiled the catastrophe's full horror. Streets of colorful homes and quaint markets were now a dystopian wasteland of mangled metal, shattered timber, and glittering glass shards. Survivors staggered through the ruins in shock, clutching salvaged photos, heirlooms, anything the gale spared. "I lost it all, home, business, but not my life," declared Luciana Alves, a shopkeeper whose bakery lay in heaps, her husband wounded. Their son vanished for agonizing hours until rescuers unearthed him in a caved-in garage. In the town Jim turned shelter, mothers lulled children under generator-powered flickers. Volunteers doled out bread and soup as priests offered prayers to the displaced. Outside, search teams pressed on, sifting ruins where cries had silenced overnight. The storm stole 5 lives, maimed over 130, and demolished hundreds of homes across Paraná and Santa Catarina. Yet defiance burned bright. "We'll rebuild as one," vowed dust-caked firefighter Marcos Ferrer. "We've lost worlds, but we're still here." That's everything. Hours after impact, Brazil's emergency machine roared to life on a massive scale. Firefighters, civil defense, police, and volunteer squads from Paraná and Santa Catarina swarmed the zone. Bulldozers cleared tree-choked roads as helicopters hunted isolated victims in remote fields. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva mandated federal aid, vowing funds for rebirth. Relief convoys rolled in with food, water, meds, and generators. Army units erected field hospitals. Power crews toiled non-stop to relight 200,000 darkened homes. Sniffer dogs probed rubble for the missing while engineers vetted standing structures. Mayors declared calamity states, freeing resources for roads, homes, schools. Global groups like the Red Cross and UNICEF pitched in with trauma care and tents. Online, Brazilians rallied under Dacher Força Rio Bonito. Share donations, send strength. The destruction was staggering, but the national outpouring eclipsed it, a beacon of unity amid ruin. As clouds parted over southern Brazil, hard questions emerged. Was this preventable? Forecasters flagged instability, but the tornado's velocity outpaced warnings. Many got no alert. "We saw the clouds boiling but never dreamed this," said farmer Carlos Mendez, his barn and fields annihilated. Specialists demand advanced early warnings and education in vulnerable zones. Unlike the U.S. with its sirens and bunkers, Brazil's severe weather defenses lag. The storm exposed nature's rage and human fragility. INMET scientists report violent storms surging in recent decades, mirroring climate-driven global chaos. Hotter seas and humidity spawn instability, morphing routine thunderheads into killers. For Rio Bonito do Iguaçu and beyond, recovery means months, maybe years. But locals plot stronger builds, deeper roots. "We can't tame the wind," a volunteer said amid the cleanup, "but we can grow wiser from it." When the winds faded, Rio Bonito do Iguaçu fell hushed. A town remade by fury, yet forged in endurance. Neighbors embraced rescuers on debris-littered streets. Tears flowed. Families reclaimed what the storm stole. Tornadoes rage briefly, but their wounds endure lifetimes. This wasn't mere disaster, it was a siren. The same shifting climate powers record hurricanes, floods, fires worldwide. Each wrecked home, each uprooted tree screams, "Extremes are the norm now." Yet in every loss blooms hope. The unbreakable community, rescuers' valor, strangers' kindness prove humanity rises even when nature crushes us. If this shook you, share, subscribe, not just for updates, but to awaken. Awareness ignites change. Stay safe. Stay ready. Never dismiss the storm's might.